Krishna Hare Ram Bhayonitai Gaurango Radheshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Life of Love, second visit to Calcutta, parting of Navadwip Das. Shri Mahavira Radharaman Ki Jai. For the last 7 or 8 days, Navadvip Das had been staying away from Baba Mahasai. He stays in the house of Kunja Babu, at a long distance from Darjibarha, where Baba Mahasai is staying. He comes to Darjibarha occasionally and meets his god brothers, but goes back without meeting Baba Mahasai. Baba Mahasai also does not make any inquiry about him. Baba Mahasai's other disciples are both surprised and aggrieved to see this. They have the same place in their heart for Navadvip Das as they have for Baba Mahasai, perhaps even more. They may for once ignore the advice of Baba Mahasai, but never that of their Navadvip Dada. There cannot be a greater cause for their distress than the absence of Navadvip Dada from their midst. Therefore, when Navadvip Dada comes, they surround him and say painfully, "Dada, have you abandoned us?" And Navadvip Das replies, "I have not abandoned you. I cannot abandon you. But your Gurudev has abandoned me for this life." The cause of this conflict between the Guru and the disciple was their disagreement regarding to the Guru principle, Guru Tattva. Navadvip Das held that the Guru was the highest Tattva. He was the combined manifestation of Sri Gauranga and Sri Nityananda. For him, the service of the Guru meant the service of all. The chanting of the name of the Guru meant the chanting of the name of all other names. Baba Mahasai held that Guru Tattva was undoubtedly one with Bhagavat Tattva, but in practice it was necessary to distinguish one from the other. In case of every other thing too, we must distinguish between the object as perceived and its tattva. That is, as the object was in itself. If we did not do that, it would end in libertarianism and utter disregard of the Shastras. The Guru Tattva was the most difficult Tattva to understand. One could worship and relish the Guru Tattva according to his own bhava, but one must not preach it to others. It was easier to carry on sadhana if Guru was regarded as a helpful guide rather than as Bhagavan. Navadvip Das said that if Guru was regarded as only a means to the attainment of the end and worshipped only till the end was achieved, that was not Guru Bhakti in the proper sense. In reply to this, Baba Mahasaya said that since he never denied that Guru Tattva and Bhagavad Tattva were no different, he could not blame those who worshipped the Guru as such, but he insisted that the kind of worship one adopts must be according to one's adhikar or capability. If in all sincerity one felt in the presence of the Guru that he was in the presence of Bhagavan himself, he could worship him as such, but he should not preach that others also should do the same, because in the age of Kali, people generally lacked the faith. In short, Navadvip Das wanted to act and preach freely accordingly to his belief and realization that Babaji Mahasaya Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev was the combined incarnation of Gaura Nitai, just as Mahaprabhu was the combined incarnation of Krishna and Radha, and Nitai was the combined incarnation of Balaram and Ananga Manjari. But Baba Mahasaya was vehemently against this. This difference between them had been going on for quite some time. This is obvious from the fact that once, while Baba Mahasaya was in the garden of Prasanna Babu, he started weeping like a child. When his companions asked him why he wept, he replied, "The wayfulness on account of which I renounce Surendra, Bhavendra, and Devendra had started taking root again. When I remember them, my heart breaks. Each of them was a receiver of infinite Shakti. My present companions stand nowhere in comparison to them." Baba Mahasaya often talked of Surendra, Bhavendra, and Devendra, whom he had renounced for the kind of willfulness now exhibited by Navadvip Das. Baba Mahasaya's companions sometimes request him and sometimes Navadvip Das to make up their differences and behave toward each other as before. Baba Mahasaya replied, "What can I do? Navadvip, who always sought satisfaction in my happiness, has now begun to seek his own happiness. He will be happy if he is allowed to present me before the world as an incarnation. Is he still the same old Navadvip?" Navadvip thus replied, "What can I do, Baba Mahasaya, whom I call Dada, elder brother, who is kind and benevolent, loving and lovable like Dada, and who was always merry like a child, has now become so grim and grave and formal in his behavior toward me. Is he still the same old Dada?" One day, Nitya Svarup, Ramdas, Lalita Shaki, Pulim Babu, and some others decide to make a special request to Baba Mahasaya to resolve this conflict. They wanted to make Ramdas their mouthpiece. Ramdas said, "If you want me to speak to him, I can speak only through a song." All of them welcomed this idea. At about 7 o'clock in the evening, they went to Baba Mahasaya's room and enclosed the door from inside. They sat down near Baba Mahasaya after making obeisance. All was quiet for some time. Then Ramdas began to sing thus in a grievous and painful tone, Is Navadvip thus, is Nava now no one to you, Sharan? Erstwhile your heart, your soul dear, why now so cold, so hard on him? He lives there afar, and you live here? We weep and weep to see you thus, so green and grave all the while. Oh when shall we see you again on your own dear? Nava smile. Ramdas' throat was choked with emotion as he sang, tears streamed out of his eyes. All others also sobbed and wept. Ramdas fell at Baba's feet and bathed them with his tears. Baba Mahasai was moved. Tears trickled down from his eyes. With choked throat, he said, "Well, with choked throat, he said, "Well, what should I do?" Pulling, "If you agree, I can call Navadvip Das." Babaji, "Where is he?" Pulling, "He's at my house." Babaji, "But what is far away?" "But that is far away." Pulling, "I shall hire a convenience and bring him at once." Babaji, "Do as you please." Pulling, and Nitya Svarup went to bring Navadvip Das. Navadvip Das resist. On their insistence, however, he said, "Well, I go, but the result will be contrary." Ramdas and others were rejoicing on the thought that after so many days the twin souls shall meet and their heart will dance with joy. When Navadvip Das arrived, accompanied by Pulin, Nitya Svarup and Kunja Das, as soon as Navadvip Das entered the room, he bowed down to Baba Mahasai. Baba Mahasai bowed down in return. Both were silent for some time. Others looked now at Baba Mahasai, now at Navadvip Das. No one had the courage for saying anything. After some time, Baba Mahasai broke the silence by saying, "Do you have to say something?" Navadvip, "Not to you in your present state, when a different Baba Mahasai has taken possession of you. I have nothing to do with yourself in this bhav. I am completely and forever sold out to you in your state as my loving and smiling Dada. I shall say whatever I have to say when he again appear in you." Babaji, "I do not know anything about my present state. I only want to know whether you have anything to say to me now." Navadvip, "I have nothing to say to you just now, but kindly bless that my devotion to you as my erstwhile Dada at whose feet I have surrendered myself forever and ever, remains firm as ever. Then Baba Mahasai looked at Ram Das, Pulin, Nitya Swarup, and others, and said, "Now tell me what I should do." They were all in a quandary. They looked at one another, but could not say anything. After some time, Baba Mahasai said to Navadvip Das, "Now what can I say, except that if you do not have anything to do with my present self, you will not see it again. You can go and live where you like and do what you please." Navadvip Das said, "Your command should be obeyed." And he went down from the first floor to the ground floor after respectfully making obeisance to him. Many others also went down and sat round him. There was no change on the face of Navadvip Das. He was talking with everyone in his usual delightful manner. A little later, when Babaji Mahasai was coming down, he heard the sound of his footsteps. Immediately he stood up and said, "Baba Mahasaya said that in this life I will not see him again. If he sees me now, his words will be falsified. Therefore, I live." And he left. Navadvip Das, who was like the second self of Babaji Mahasai, who sacrificed the happiness of all the three worlds to please him, who loved him more than he loved Gaura Nitai and Radha Krishna, and who could not live even for a moment without him, was not disturbed in the least to hear the hardest command of Baba Mahasai that sounded to him like a clap of thunder, and left the place at once so that his words might not prove false. Navadvip Das went to Vrindavan. After a couple of months, he fell ill. In his illness, he always chanted, "Dada, Dada." Sometimes he said to the people who attend upon him, "Dada is coming to see me in this hot season. Prepare sharbat, a cold drink, for him." This was no mere imagination. Baba Mahasai came and he gave him sharbat to drink. Sometimes he also made the attendants actually see Baba Mahasai. On the Amavasya day, 2 days before Ratha Yatra, he said to his attendants, "Take me to Brahmarghat. I will see Jamuna." They took him to Brahmarghat. He made obeisance to Jamuna and prayed to her. Then he started chanting the name, and chanting left the body. Vayo Nitai Gaura Radheshyam Japon Hare Krishna Hare Ram Vayo Nitai Gaur Radheshyam. Japo Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. A very old Brahmin lady with matted hair, who was generally regarded as yogini, of a very high order and often used to come to Baba Mahasaya during his stay in Darjepartha, once said to him, Baba, have you forsaken Navadvip? He is no ordinary person. Krishna. He is no ordinary person. He is a great soul, and his devotion to Guru is unique and unheard of. Baba Mahasai replied, No, can I ever forsake Navadvip? He is my heart and soul. His heart breaks to see the miserable condition of the fallen souls. No one is so much concerned about their deliverance as he. But he did something which I did not like. Therefore I have only externally forsake him. My heart always weeps for him. The yogini once said to Amrita Baba, one of the disciples of Baba Bagasai, Navadvip is great. He's an ideal disciple. If anyone wants to know what Guru Tattva and Guru Bhakti is, he should learn it from him. And this Charan Das, do you know who he is? He is Jal Chaitanya, a copy of Chaitanya. I have seen all the signs of Mahabhav appear on his body in Sankirtan. When I went to Janjapita Math in Puri, all of a sudden he came with a little Mahaprasad and wanted to push it into my mouth. I wanted to test him, so I said, I will not take this prasad. I will take it if it is the same prasad of which only a small particle had made Shiva and Durga dance in spiritual madness. He said, Ma, it is the same Mahaprasad. You have only to taste it and you will know. And he put the Mahaprasad into my mouth. The moment I took it, I was of madness, with love that I cannot describe it. Even today my hair stands on end when I remember that state. I have traveled far and wide and seen and tested many sadhus, rishis and yogis living in the caves of the Himalayas and the forests, but I have never come across one like him. You are fortunate to have found a guru like him. He and Navadvip, the two great souls, are the two biggest luminaries on the spiritual horizon of modern India. Navadvip Das Baba Maharaj ki jai. Jai Navadvip Dadu ki jai. Jai Sri Navadvip Dadu ki jai. Shri Ram Das Baba Maharaj ki jai. Shri Lalita Shaki Ma ki jai. Shri Radharaman Sharan Das Deva Mahavira ki jai. Shri Mahavira Navadvip Dadu ki jai. It would be futile to comment upon the activities of the two souls who lived on a plane much higher than our understanding. But at the same time, our mind must, by its very nature, reflect. As far as our understanding goes, the parting between Baba Mahasai and Navadvip Das was not really a parting of souls. They were as if two only in body, one in soul. The parting therefore was of bodies, not of soul. This is apparent from their attitude toward each other after the parting. The parting, however, such as it was not without a purpose. The purpose was perhaps to establish an ideal, the ideal of a guru, who is in his own self was the very epitome of a servant of the Lord. As Baba Mahasai used to say about himself, perhaps Baba Mahasai thought it was necessary to counter the tendency among some gurus to set themselves up or to allow their disciple to set them up as God. If this tendency continued, he thought it was bound to create chaos. There will be as many gods as there were gurus. The gods might even fight among themselves, each trying to establish his claim over others for the most exalted position of the Supreme God, and the seeker of God will be lost in the mass. The Great One who came to uphold the ideal of true religion often sacrificed their own interest and the interest of those nearest and dearest to them for the sake of an ideal. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu abandoned one of his dearest followers, Shotta Haridas, to uphold the ideal of a Shast Vairagi, it was no surprise that Baba Mahasai abandoned his dearest disciple, Navadvip Das, to establish the ideal of a guru. In both cases, the punishment given was only external and for the good of mankind in general. Shotta Haridas remained Mahaprabhu's dear singer and used to sing songs to him in his spiritual body after he left his physical body. Similarly, Navadvip Das remained dear to Baba Mahasai as ever. Although they were apart in body, they were always together in spirit. Jai Sri Navadvip Das ki jai. Sri Bhargava ki jai. In the next episode, we will read Second Visit to Calcutta, Saving Kunja Das. Vayonitai Gaurango Radheshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ramo Vayonitai Gaurango Radheshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram Vayonitai Gaurango Radheshyam, Radheshyam, Japo Hare Krishna, Hare Ramo, Hare Ram, Vayunitai Gaura Radheshyam, Japo Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Vayunitai Gaura Radheshyam, Japo Hare Krishna, Hare Ramo. Jaya Mare Radha Raman Pavan Karum Patita Pavan. Jaya Mare Radha Raman Pavan Karum Patita Pavan. Jai Navadvip Dal ki Jai. Sri Raman Parivara ki Jai. Sri Raman Gan ki Jai. Jai Jai Sri Radheshyam.